all he did was to set his computer into PC World to make repair. And they went into the hard drive, saw all these dodgy pictures, and told the police. And the police said, oh, we've got a famous person. Oh my goodness, well, I'll get him. But Gary had not sold it, not tried to sell it, not tried to show him in public for a thing like that would for his own gratification, whether it was right or wrong. Is of course it's up to another person, but they didn't do anything, but they are then demonised. And of course, in the first steps that couple was going to get the film wrong, for well, I don't taking care of it. They just sat at home watching these dodgy films.
Paul Gadd's first documented sexual abuses are known to have taken place in 1975. He was 31 years old at the time. But suspicion casts its shadow in all directions, and the possibility of further unreported offenses remains a chilling reality. For years to come, Gadd will evade justice, quietly but willfully preying on vulnerable young fans. Like many celebrity predators of his era, Gadd will hide in plain sight, relying on the glitz and glamour surrounding his pop persona to mask his dark, deviant tendencies. Decades will pass before his crimes finally come to light. Maybe, in time, we will know the full extent of his abuses. But for now, in this short film, we look back at the life, crimes, and legacy of Paul Gadd, a man better known to the world as Gary Glitter. Born in the English market town of Banbury in 1944, Gadd's beginnings were anything but serene. A problematic child, born to a young and inexperienced mother, and abandoned by his father, Gadd's troubles began early. By age 10, he and his brother would be placed into care of the local authority. In a youth marked by instability, Gadd would take regular errant trips to London in his early teens, drawn by the promise of change. By age 15, Gadd makes London his permanent home, immersing himself in the gritty nightlife of Soho.
In the 1950s was predictable and dull. My generation demanded a new beginning.
Despite his tender age, Gadd is gracing the stages of clubs such as the Laconda and the Safari, delivering renditions of classic rock and roll anthems and other well-known ballads. The teenager comes to the attention of Robert Hartford Davis, a minor player in the London film and TV scene. Hartford Davis takes the young performer under his wing, securing him a recording session with Decca Records. Ambitious beyond his years, Gadd is already developing his talents, not only on stage, but also in seizing opportunities that come his way. In January 1960, still age 15, Gadd now performs under the stage name, Paul Raven. He releases his first single, Alone in the Night. Within a year, and with growing ambition, Gadd decides to part from Hartford Davis and align himself with a new manager, Vic Billings. Billings, who will eventually go on to manage Dusty Springfield, secures Gadd a recording contract with Parlophone Records. The teenager enjoys a fleeting work experience with producer George Martin, less than a year before Martin synonymously aligns himself with the Beatles. They collaborate on the singles, Walk On Boy, and Tower of Strength, but neither track provides the mainstream breakthrough Gadd now desperately seeks. In 1963, Gadd marries Anne Merton. Their first child is born within a year, a boy, also named Paul. The couple expand the family further with the arrival of their daughter, Sarah, in 1966. By 1964, at only 20 years old, Gadd is already facing the stark reality of a stalled pop career. Work dries up, but an ever-resilient Gadd makes use of his time. He performs as a warm-up act for television shows like Ready Steady Go, and takes on minor support roles to keep his hand in the game. Dealing with the looming fear of obscurity, Gadd simply relies on blind ambition to see him through. He takes on some small TV and film roles. It's this work which serendipitously leads him to meet impresario, Mike Leander. It will be under Leander's guidance that Gadd's career would now, finally, begin moving to the next level. Leander invites Gadd to join his show band in 1965. Gadd happily agrees, and, keen to impress, finds his role developing beyond performances alone, including taking on some production work for other artists. Despite demonstrating versatility and commitment, the Leander show band soon splits, leaving Gadd, once again, sniffing around for new opportunities. Now into 1966, and Gadd joins up with the Boston show band, a new group spearheaded by musician John Russell, who is in search of a charismatic frontman. This collaboration marks the beginning of a significant new chapter in Gadd's career. The band embark on extensive tours across the UK and West Germany, performing a diverse repertoire which showcases Gadd's evolving talent as a leading pop star. By 1970, the Boston show band are enjoying broad success. Gadd's contributions are not only limited to the stage, he also finds time to lend his voice to the concept album for Jesus Christ Superstar, taking on the role of a priest. Opportunities grow by the day and an ambitious Gadd is ready for more. 1971 sees the rise of glam rock. Gadd, still performing as Paul Raven, senses the winds of change blowing. He decides to embrace a new and defining stage name. Consideration is given to the names Terry Tinsel and Stanley Sparkle. Eventually, he settles on his choice. Gary Glitter is now born. Glitter's collaboration with Mike Leander is now in full swing. Plans are swiftly set in motion for a new album to launch Glitter into the mainstream. Their aim is to quickly hitch the wagon to the burgeoning glam rock movement, blending Glitter's new image with Leander's production expertise. Gary Glitter is about to be propelled into the heady atmosphere of 1970s rock stardom. 1972 sees the release of Rock and Roll Parts 1 and 2 as an A and B-side single. The song marks a pivotal moment in Glitter's career as the single swiftly ascends the charts, reaching number 2 in the UK. Its success isn't only confined to the UK, however. It also secures a top 10 position in the United States, a notable achievement for a glam rock track. The single's impressive performance extends across Europe. Gary Glitter has arrived. This same year, he will divorce from his wife. Over the coming 3 years, Glitter's success continues unabated. With the backing of John Russell and the Glittermen, Glitter is now ably competing with contemporaries such as David Bowie, Elton John, and Slade. His glam persona is further amplified by an array of glittering suits and platform boots as he fully embraces his new role as a ranking pop star. It's 1973, and Glitter scores his first UK #1 with Leader of the Gang. Unrelenting success follows for the next 2 years. By 1975, Glitter has amassed 11 consecutive top 10s, selling 18 million records, and is now, finally, at the pinnacle of his pop career. This new level of fame brings not only power, but opportunity, allowing a suppressed darkness to finally manifest in the shadows of his spotlight. Still 1975, Glitter's first known predatory assaults are now underway. An intimate party is in full swing at Glitter's London home. A young girl, less than 10 years old, is also there. Perhaps she's the daughter of a friend or colleague, and for reasons unknown, she's staying overnight. The girl is unaware, but someone is watching her with intent. Unable to stay awake as long as the adults, the young girl is given a private bedroom to sleep in. Later that evening, as she sleeps, Glitter, intoxicated by fame and alcohol, invites himself into the child's bed. He attempts to rape the young girl, but she manages to evade a full penetrative assault by somehow wrapping herself in the bedsheets. Eventually, a fumbling Glitter relents, and falls asleep beside her on the bed. Terrified the predator will awake and look to finish the task, the child sneaks quietly to the bathroom, locking herself in until daylight. This event represents an era of pop culture in the UK that carries a stark absence of scrutiny. Victims' voices not only go unheard, but can be actively discouraged. It's within this deafening silence that Glitter, among others, operate with impunity. Throughout the remainder of the 1970s, Glitter's abuses will continue at pace. By the end of 1975 and into 1976, Glitter experiences a decline in both sales and popularity. He announces a temporary retirement, taking a gap year in France, and also spends some time in Australia, apparently planning a comeback. By 1977, he's back in the UK, and begins touring once more. Tonight he's performing at a nightclub in Leicester. His act, now well polished, is turned out without too much effort, allowing him time to dwell on darker perversions beyond the show. Show over, and Glitter returns to his hotel suite at the local Holiday Inn. Waiting fans follow the star, hoping for an autograph. One in particular is chosen by Glitter, and, at the tender age of 12, she's overcome with excitement to be meeting her pop idol. She revels in the special attention she appears to be receiving, including an autograph on her sparkly jacket. The girl is then invited to personally meet Glitter in his hotel room, an offer presented as a rare privilege. The girl's mother is present, and hesitates, but the little girl is excited. Against her better judgment, she permits the youngster to go alone. The child enters the hotel room, but is surprised to find she's the only fan present. Instinct takes second place as youth and excitement overcome her natural sense of doubt. Glitter is already a little drunk as he opens another bottle. The girl doesn't drink alcohol. At 12 years old, the inclination to do so is far from developed. But Glitter persuades her with fruity champagne, carefully watching and biding his time. He cajoles and encourages the youngster to take a sip, and then another. Sensing the child's unease, he cracks jokes, and tells her about other famous stars he knows who she can get to meet. It only takes a few drinks for the youngster to begin feeling dizzy. Glitter takes the glass from the girl and places it on the bedside table. What follows will later be described in court as a prolonged episode of sexual abuse involving a full range of sexual activity culminating in intercourse. Glitter was 34 years old. His pedophilic tendencies, now fully realized, are far from satisfied, however. His abuses will sadly continue unchecked for many more years to come. Unfortunately for this young girl, she will again fall foul to the predator. Like before, it will be a hotel room. This time in Birmingham, a year or two later. Again her mother will be ushered away, allowing Glitter to be alone with the girl, where she will be once more physically abused. Glitter will instruct her to not speak of their secret. As we move into 1977, Glitter declares bankruptcy, with reported debts of £170,000. He blames high taxation in the UK for his woes. It won't be the star's last bankruptcy. This same year also sees the release of his fourth studio album, Silver Star. For the remainder of the 70s we find Glitter continuing to perform around the UK. Between 1979 and 1980, it is known that Glitter commits indecent assaults against another young girl under the age of 16. Still in his mid-30s, and still getting away with it, Glitter continues taking full advantage of his fame to lure and abuse underage children. These known abuses from the 70s will not find their way into the light of the public domain for almost another 20 years, and it will take nearly another 20 years after this before they are legally punished. For now, we enter the 1980s, and Glitter has found a niche in the music market. His waning star is back on the rise. In 1981 he releases the medley, All That Glitters, which kickstarts another touring phase of his career, this time around colleges and nightclubs across the UK, prime territory for Glitter. Between guest invitations, collaborations, and a successful back catalogue, Glitter remains in demand. Including an appearance alongside Sandy Shaw and Tina Turner in the British Electric Foundation album of 1982. Glitter continues writing new music with Mike Leander, who produces another Rock and Roll Christmas in 1984 with the star. The song will go on to spend the next 10 years as one of the most played Christmas tunes on the radio. Later this same year, Glitter will leave Arista Records after 12 successful years, signing a new deal with Virgin. Touring continues among other things, including a third arrest for driving drunk in 1986, where Glitter narrowly avoids a custodial sentence. He's banned from driving for 10 years. In the same year, Glitter also receives hospital treatment for a reported accidental overdose of sleeping pills. 1987 sees the release of the Gary Glitter Party album by Telstar Records, and through 1988 and 89 Glitter continues to enjoy mainstream success as other artists sample his work. The Time Lords, also known as the KLF, sample Rock and Roll Part 2 in their successful release of Doctoring the TARDIS. And Jive Bunny and the Master Mixers sample another Rock and Roll Christmas on their release of Let's Party. Glitter also finds himself performing paid advertising work for British Rail as celebrity commercials gain popularity.
When you've made as many comebacks as Gary Glitter, isn't it nice to know you can always come back to the great taste of Heinz lentil soup, not off?
He finds a spiritual awakening during the 80s, converting to Buddhism and becoming vegetarian as the decade comes to a close. Entering the 90s, we find Glitter declaring a further bankruptcy, again involving unpaid taxes. He also decides it's time to now expand his business interests outside of music, opening a restaurant in London's Leicester Square in 1991, calling it Gary Glitter's Bar, and trading under the slogan, Leader of the Snack. The venture is short-lived and closes within 2 years. Around the same time, he loses his record deal with Virgin, subsequently setting up his own label, Altitude Records. 1991 is busy, seeing the release of a new studio album, Leader 2, followed by a best-selling autobiography, similarly named, The Leader. And as we enter 1992, we find Glitter appearing on the top-rated TV show This Is Your Life, hosted by Michael Aspel.
Patricia Neal and the late Roald Dahl. You were introduced to them by their daughter, and she is here. Tessa Dahl.
Tessa.
Tessa, were you impressed from the very beginning?
Oh, always greatly impressed. Gary actually came to live in my house when he was between jobs, and
Yeah, but I was absolutely broke.
my sister Lucy turned it into quite a successful venture because she used to pack the train full of her adolescent school friends in school uniform, and they'd Skype school, and she'd bring them up to the house and charge them £5 a head to come and gaze at Glitter.
By 1993, the trail of rumors following Glitter eventually finds public attention. The News of the World runs a story with the headline, Gary Glitter's Underage Sex, alleging the star had sex with a 14-year-old girl who he'd known since age 11. The article includes a photo of Glitter without his wig on, but his revealed baldness appears to take equal billing in the story to the main headline. The story comes and goes. To Glitter's surprise, he's not arrested, or questioned, nor scrutinized any further. Once again, the slippery pop star successfully evades justice.
Spend all your money on?
Oh, very extravagant things, like I used to ring up the Playboy Club in London and get a coachload of bunnies down most evenings, after just generally lots of goods, sex, drugs and rock and roll. But of course it was allowed to, you could do that in the 70s, now that everybody's leading such a clean life.
We don't really do that anymore, I suppose. Well, there aren't any bunnies now, are there?
There's no bunnies.
No. Who do you coach down to your house now?
No, you. That was a quick. You sneaked that one in. I've got a couple of good friends that come around.
Have you?
Yeah.
Are they very young? Whenever I think of you, I do imagine you with rather young, nubile girls.
Well, yeah, that's quite. I mean, yes. What do you call young? 24, 23, that sort of
That's
age.
quite young, yes. There's no need to be mean.
See, all the other ones are married. I mean, I missed out, you know.
I suppose.
Glitter's life continues as before as we head into 1994. He receives surprise acclaim for his performance in the opening ceremony of the World Cup, hosted in the United States. The opening concert in Chicago is televised to over 46 countries and includes artists such as Diana Ross, with Oprah Winfrey hosting. Now 1995, and Oasis released their second album What's the Story Morning Glory. The record enjoys widespread critical success, including the first track on the album, Hello. This particular Oasis song includes a resampled line from Glitter's 1973 hit, Hello I'm Back Again, which results in not only a writing credit for Glitter, but also a right to royalty payments. Unconfirmed reports suggest Glitter may have since received over £1 million in royalties from this writing credit alone. In 1996, Glitter lands the role of the Godfather in the revival tour of The Who's Quadrophenia. Eager to remain in the limelight, the star continues to adapt to the needs and opportunities of the ever-changing landscape of fame, also releasing a cover version of The House of the Rising Sun this same year. Glitter eases into 1997 still on a high. This year marks 25 years in show business. All things considered, he's been extremely successful and long-lasting. With a mansion in London and a country retreat in Somerset, the star has sold over 20 million records, has had 26 hit singles, totaling 180 weeks in the singles chart. 12 of these reaching the top 10 with 3 of them reaching number 1. Gary Glitter now holds a firm place in the top 100 most successful UK acts of all time. In May 1997, Glitter takes his first trip to Cambodia. But it's only a short holiday, a little taste of the landscape and what it might offer. Rested and back in the UK, a 2-disc compilation is being planned, The Ultimate Gary Glitter, 25 Years of Hits. This is to be followed by a new tour later in the year, A Night Out with the Boys. This will turn out to be Glitter's last tour, as the most notable event of 1997 culminates in November. Glitter, like most of us at some point or another, is having some problems with his laptop. But Glitter isn't the technical type to try and fix the problem by himself. A quick visit to the computer shop is needed. After all, this laptop is important to Glitter, it stores valuable content he doesn't want to lose. It's cold and damp on the 18th of November 1997. Trudging alone, one of the UK's biggest music stars enters into the PC World store near Bristol. Laptop in hand, the star is looking for a quick repair. He's hoping the repair will take place while he's there so that he can oversee the task. But the in-store technician regrettably advises Mr. Glitter that it's a next-day collection service. Glitter hesitates, weighing up the risk, but seeing no alternative, decides to leave his laptop with the technician. Only one instruction is offered before Glitter leaves. Don't look at any of my files. The following day, Glitter returns to the store, but he's a little on edge. An uneasy feeling of exposure is creeping over him that he can't quite put his finger on. He dismisses the notion, confident in the knowledge he's already got this far without repercussion. As he enters the store, Glitter finds police officers waiting. The star is placed under arrest for suspected possession of child pornography. As it happened, it didn't take much effort for the store technician to discover a considerable stash of child porn on the star's computer. This event marks the beginning of the end for the now 47-year-old Paul Gadd. Glitter is taken to Staple Hill Police Station and questioned, but subsequently released on bail without immediate charge. Soon after, both his London home and country retreat in Wedmore are searched. Further child pornography is found, including videos and photographs. In total, over 4,000 images and videos are reported to be in Glitter's personal possession, including further evidence of subscription memberships to child porn file sharing websites. The media soon pick up the story and national castigation rightly ensues. A planned appearance for Children in Need this same week is abruptly cancelled, as well as other booked shows and events, including an already filmed appearance in the upcoming Spice Girls movie. Ironically, as we move into 1998, Glitter's recording of Rock and Roll receives a listing as one of the top 1001 songs in the history of music. It will be the only good news Glitter will hear this year. The remainder of 1998 we find the star laying low, consulting with his legal team, and awaiting his soon-to-be trial. Almost 2 years to the day later, on the 12th of November 1999, Glitter appears at Bristol Crown Court. The star admits to downloading the vast collection of child pornography and receives a 4-month prison sentence. Glitter is also placed on the sex offenders register. An accompanying charge of having sex with a 14-year-old girl, previously reported in 1993, sees an acquittal.
The area, as the former rock star told the world he was sorry for what he'd done.
I deeply regret doing what I was sent to prison for. I've served my time. I want to put it all behind me. Murray, I've lived my life.
Now January 2000, and 56-year-old Glitter is released from prison. Glitter takes to his luxury yacht and departs for Spain, enjoying the sunny climes of his Andalusian mooring. You would expect to hear that he's laying low and avoiding publicity, but, ever the showman, Glitter can't help himself. He can be found strolling the local nightlife with confidence, hitting the bars and enjoying nightclubs, even introducing himself as Larry Brilliante. It doesn't take long before his identity and location become known to the media. Within 6 months of arriving in Spain, Glitter is once again on the move. First he tries Cuba. His new girlfriend is not only Cuban, but also pregnant with the star's child. Glitter buys an apartment for £20,000 and attempts to settle into some kind of normality. In February 2001, Yewtree gives birth to their son, Gary Jr. During this downtime, in September of the same year, Glitter audaciously releases another studio album, made up mostly from tracks written prior to his 1999 conviction. As expected, the album fails, selling around 5,000 copies only, mostly through Glitter's own website. Retailers are now understandably reluctant to stock or promote music by Gary Glitter. Legally speaking, there's nothing to stop the fallen star from releasing new music. He's now free, or rather is yet to be caught again, but as expected, public appetite for his music is now considerably reduced. As news eventually breaks on the birth of his son, Glitter feels the need to move once more. Settled family life isn't for him. He's tried it before, and this aside, he's determined more than ever to evade tabloid scrutiny. Only months after the birth of his son, excuses in hand, the star leaves Cuba. The apartment is left with Yewtree to help her out with the kid. Glitter now returns to Cambodia, this time to live. Arriving around October 2001, and with royalty money continuing to fill the coffers, he sets himself up in a luxurious apartment. For the next 6 months, out of public sight and mind, Glitter can prowl with impunity, taking full advantage of lax law enforcement and the readily accessible sex tourism in his new chosen country. It only takes until April 2002 until Glitter is back under the focus of local law enforcement. Initially he's questioned simply for overstaying his visa by a few days. His passport is confiscated during preliminary questioning and he's instructed to attend a judicial meeting the following week on the 31st of April. Glitter doesn't show, however. Now anxious under the attention of the law, he appoints a local Cambodian lawyer to attend the meeting on his behalf. As things stand, he's not yet been caught for any more serious crimes, but Glitter chooses to play it safe and see how the meeting pans out from a distance. The experience of PC World in 1999 has taught him nothing if not to practice caution from a distance. It appears Glitter's suspicions carry some merit, as later this same week the Cambodian Ministry of Women's Affairs announced publicly they hope to have Glitter expelled from the country due to his 1999 child porn conviction. They bravely declare the issue a moral and preventative measure. But with no crimes known to have taken place and none reported, Glitter gets a reprieve and is permitted to stay in the country. He decides, however, to leave Cambodia for a short period, allowing the dust to settle before he makes a decision on his next move. After a short period, he decides it's safe to return and slowly but intentionally ebbs out of hiding. Through impulse or design, Glitter soon continues to prey on children as he did before, once again having skirted justice. Some 6 months later, in December 2002, Glitter is finally arrested on suspicion of child sex offenses. Unconfirmed allegations from the time also include sex with underage boys. Cambodia act quick this time, putting Glitter into a local prison on the 26th of December. He's imprisoned for only 2 days before being deported on the 28th. His legal team make efforts to challenge the deportation, but fail, and Glitter is sent to Bangkok. Once again things go quiet as Glitter returns to laying low. In many respects he's been lucky, no meaningful punishment was handed out, and feeling unscathed, Glitter decides to find a new playground. He soon leaves Bangkok for the next stop in his dark odyssey: Vietnam. Now in Vietnam and with no one seemingly looking for him, Glitter is again feeling settled and elects to put out some new music. Despite what's publicly known about him, he finds he still has fans and at least some interest remains in him as a musician. He releases the single Control in December 2004, and Field of Dreams in 2005. A couple of years have now passed since the Cambodian incident, and Glitter's confidence is back on the rise. No one appears to be looking for him and tabloid stories have also faded. Glitter feels at ease and moves freely in his new sex haven. By spring 2005 the star has settled in the pretty coastal resort of Vung Tau and is renting a luxury seaside villa. Glitter, true to form, can be found singing in local bars, evidently happy to be back in the limelight. All his needs are now being met. In fact, things are going so well that Glitter decides to apply for permanent Vietnamese residency. He spends the summer of 2005 enjoying life and indulging himself as he chooses. A little attention is drawn when he gets banned from a local nightclub for groping a teenage waitress. Still confident, Glitter shrugs off the incident, ignoring the obvious warning signs. But as summer turns to autumn, someone reports Glitter to the authorities, alleging he was seen taking 2 very young girls into his home. Once more, clouds of suspicion gather over Glitter, and by early November he gets wind the authorities are coming for him again. He manages to flee his villa before the police arrive, and all they find is a 15-year-old girl who is apparently living with the star. A national police search for Glitter is now underway. A week later Glitter is eventually apprehended on the 20th of November. He's captured at Tan Son Nhat International Airport while trying to board a flight to Bangkok. Glitter is returned to Vung Tau, and is detained during the initial investigation which is centered on the allegation of the star having had sex with 2 underage girls. Around a month later, on the 26th of December, the investigation concludes. A charge of rape is dropped due to lack of evidence, but Glitter admits to allowing an 11-year-old girl to share his bed. Glitter allegedly pays out compensation to the girl's family, who in turn appeal for clemency on his behalf. If convicted of child rape, the star could face penalty of death by firing squad. Glitter is released, but it won't be for long. Further women come forward over the next 3 months as a background investigation continues. 6 females between the ages of 11 and 23 give evidence of sexual relations with Glitter. Now arrested once more, Glitter faces trial in March 2006. He will be tried for committing obscene acts against 2 young girls, one is aged 11, the other just 10. Following the trial, justice is swift and Glitter is found guilty. He's sentenced to 3 years in prison, and must face mandatory deportation at the end of his sentence. Further to this, he is to pay compensation of 5 million Vietnamese dong to the families of his victims, which equates to a little over $300. In sentencing, Judge Than Tung said the following: "He sexually abused and committed obscene acts with children many times in a disgusting and sick manner." Glitter is now 61 years old. The star publicly bemoans the judgment and denies both the offenses and the suggestion that he is a pedophile.
Unbelievable. Are you sorry for what you've done? No, I'm not. I haven't done anything. I'm innocent. You've been found guilty. I am innocent. It's a conspiracy.
Right in the front, guys. They're right in the front, Jim.
You know who.
Who is it? What are you talking about?
In an interview with the BBC, he places the blame on the tabloid press, alleging they collaborated with local girls to arrange photo scoops. In June of the same year, Glitter submits an appeal for a reduced sentence. The appeal is heard in a closed hearing by a 3-judge panel of the Supreme People's Court of Vietnam. 4 weeks later, Glitter attends the hearing outcome on his appeal to find it rejected. Once more, he publicly remonstrates his innocence, shouting outside the courthouse as he's led away. Glitter sweats out his sentence in Tu Duc prison, sharing an open cell with 18 other foreign inmates, but receives an exemption from hard labor due to his age. While in prison, his back catalog is released on streaming platforms such as iTunes, giving his royalty income another boost. But the star's health is waning, he's suffering high blood pressure and the prison doctor advises him to stop buying and consuming beer from the prison canteen. By January 2008 he's also suffering intestinal problems and is further diagnosed with an irregular heartbeat. A heart attack follows within weeks as Glitter collapses in his cell. He's taken to a local hospital under police guard. Now August 2008, and Glitter is eventually released. He's taken under police guard directly to the airport and placed on a flight to London via Bangkok. Media reports in the UK anticipate his return, including suggestions Glitter will be once again placed on the sex offenders register. Home Secretary Jackie Smith recommends a foreign travel order be placed on Glitter, banning him from overseas travel, and publicly suggesting the star needs to be placed under control. As the drama unfolds, the Philippines announce Glitter is barred from entry as a preventative measure. Glitter, knowing what awaits him in the UK, refuses to board the connecting flight on arrival in Bangkok. The desperate star claims health issues and makes a scene, announcing that he's now a free man. A doctor is called and diagnoses Glitter with costochondritis, but confirms he is okay to travel and simply prescribes some painkillers. Glitter isn't happy, and continues to refuse to board the flight, taking homage in a transit lounge within the airport. Thailand also now announced that Glitter is not permitted to stay in the country, describing the star as a threat to domestic morality. Somehow Glitter manages to board a flight to Hong Kong, desperately trying to avoid returning to the UK. On arrival in Hong Kong, knowing what's in wait, he declares he's suffering a heart attack and requests immediate medical attention. Hong Kong refuse him entry however, and he swiftly returned to Thailand a day later. As media attention spreads, up to 19 different countries now announce Glitter will not be permitted entry, including Cuba, where his now 7-year-old son resides. Finally, resigned to the inevitable, Glitter arrives back in the UK on the 22nd of August 2008. The star is met at Heathrow by British police, and it's not long after that he's added to the sex offenders register, this time for life. 2009 sees Channel 4 release a new drama, The Execution of Gary Glitter, somehow assuming there is public mood for such a show, which is set in a parallel Britain, and follows the imaginary trial and execution by hanging of Glitter. The show isn't received well.
Follow me.
Glasses! I need my glasses! Lord! This isn't happening! My name's Paul Francis Gadd. I haven't done anything. I haven't done anything. There's got to be a wind-up.
Stand clear.
I'm an innocent man. I haven't done anything.
Glitter manages to remain mostly out of the spotlight, and in 2011 releases a collection of B-sides under the title, All That Glitters. Later this year, news breaks that Glitter is now free to travel abroad following his travel ban being lifted. It's understood the Metropolitan Police took the decision not to ask for a renewal of the order. By the end of 2011, Glitter's friend and kindred spirit, Jimmy Saville, also passes away. October 2012 sees the release of a new ITV documentary, The Other Side of Jimmy Saville, which includes previously unreported revelations of sexual misconduct by Saville.
Who's your best pal, tell me?
I'm not telling you. No, Desmond.
He's not.
He is.
No, he's not.
Get off me.
Because he's a married man.
You care?
Yes, you do.
Get off.
I won't. Not until,
You're squashing.
not until you say me.
Me.
Say, I promise
I promise.
that you, Jimmy Saville,
You, Jimmy Saville,
are the only one
are the only one.
in my life,
No, you're not the only one in my life.
and Noel Edmonds and all them others is definitely one. Ooh! Girl, who's your best pal?
You as a pal, get off my backside.
Eh? Beg your pardon? In front of your mummy and daddy? Goodness gracious.
Glitter finds himself caught up in the revelations, including an accusation that he once raped a 13 to 14-year-old girl in Saville's dressing room. Operation Yewtree is already underway at Scotland Yard, and on the 28th of October, Glitter is once more arrested. Following some interim bail releases, Glitter, now 70, is finally charged in June 2014 on 8 counts of sexual offences against 2 girls between the ages of 12 and 14. The abuse is alleged to have taken place between 1977 and 1980. Public opinion of Gary Glitter is now, resoundingly and unequivocally, final. In January 2015, Glitter appears at Southwood Crown Court. The accusations faced include sexually assaulting young girls aged 12 and 13 in his dressing room, and also attempting to rape a 10-year-old child. The trial ends less than 20 days later. Glitter is found guilty of attempted rape, 4 counts of indecent assault, and a further count of engaging in sex with a girl younger than 13. 3 other charges receive an acquittal.
Took advantage of the star status afforded to him by targeting young girls who trusted him and were in awe of his fame. His lack of remorse and defence that the victims were lying makes his crimes all the more indefensible. I am pleased that the jury were able to see through this. I would like to commend the bravery of the victims for coming forward. The courage and strength required in order to report allegations of this nature cannot be underestimated. And without their testimonials, we would have no case to bring to court. Paul Gadd was the first individual arrested under Operation Yewtree. This goes to highlight the complexities involved in dealing with offences of this nature and our determination to pursue all lines of inquiry and, wherever possible, present these cases before the courts. Thank you.
For 3 weeks, Glitter cowers in remand at Wandsworth Prison, awaiting sentence. On the 27th of February he finally receives the sentence. 16 years imprisonment. Appeals are logged but subsequently denied. Glitter spends 2015 to 2018 in HMP Albany, before being transferred to low-security HMP Verne in 2018. In February 2023, Glitter is eventually released on license after serving half his sentence. However, less than a month passes, and on the 13th of March, he's once more recalled to prison after an investigation reveals Glitter has been accessing child porn on his phone. Again back in jail, Glitter makes a parole application. It takes a year for the parole board to deny his application, stating the decision was based on his continued sexual interest in underage girls. As of 2024, the fallen star is believed to be serving his sentence in HMP Risley. In June of the same year, a judge rules that Glitter must pay more than £500,000 to a victim he's convicted of abusing when she was only 12 years old. Gary Glitter is only one of many abusers, and Operation Yewtree is only one of many investigations. Cases like these understandably draw more attention due to the high-profile people involved. Yewtree would see several celebrities arrested who were in fact innocent, and those in charge of the operation would eventually admit mistakes were made, in both the judgment and handling of these arrests. However, it would also see other notable figures convicted and jailed for their crimes. Of the 19 people arrested, 7 of those received convictions. Separate to Yewtree, we've also seen a raft of other notable figures convicted for child sex abuses in recent memory, with crimes, like Gary Glitter's, stretching over decades. This of course isn't to mention the litany of child sex abuse cases carried out on scale by groups not in the public eye. And while we rightly offer public revulsion once these acts are brought to light, we should also remember that we have borne witness to many other high-profile stars, particularly in the 50s, 60s and 70s, who have publicly been considered to have sexually pursued minors, but it went no further than raised eyebrows. Mark Williams Thomas, the former detective who was key in exposing Jimmy Saville in his ITV documentary, suggests the story is still far from over. The debate on whether we should still listen to the music of convicted sex offenders is open to discussion. Opinions continue to vary.
After being charged with masterminding an elaborate scheme to sexually abuse children and young women.
Even though many are boycotting the R&B singer's music, it can still be found on most major streaming platforms. So after this verdict, should it be wiped indefinitely? Joining us to discuss it is Lonyo, a DJ who believes that criminals' music should be taken down, and Dominic Samuels, who believes that actually we need to separate the art from the artist. It's a sort of a fertile debate, this, Dominic, particularly right now off the back of what is a heinous crimes that he's been found guilty of, and there's still more to come as well. But you don't believe that we need to wipe his music from the streaming services, and actually we need to work out how to separate the art from the artist?
Yeah, I think primarily people should have the choice not to listen to people like R. Kelly, or even people like Gary Glitter, for example, who was a convicted paedophile.
Yeah, I think about that. That's a reoccurring dream that I get. Also, the other reoccurring dream is that, the voice is gone. But I've had that. I've been out on stage when the voice is gone, and I've said, I can't sing. And they all go, "Way!" As long as you're there, you know, people have come out in the cold. I can't think about people not turning up to see me. I don't have that kind of thought.
Okay, right now.
You were saying that you would have liked to have been in the movies, and you would have liked to have been the Joker in Batman.
Absolutely, because some people think I'm a little bit manic, you know. I don't know why, because most women know that I'm a pussycat.
Yes.
Really, pussycat. However...